I think that the Girl Scout Promise and Law, dating back to the time that Juliette Lowe started Girl Scouting over 80 years ago, has been the mainstay, the stable thread that has kept the values, the ethics, the principles together.
But it also provides an atmosphere within that girl-adult partnership that allows the girls to live the Girl Scout Promise and Law. They learn to respect one another, they learn to help one another, they learn to live by rules, to honor them, to honor themselves.
Today we live in a changing world, and we have for 80 years, where things are changing rapidly, and change is good because it brings opportunities and challenges. But during change, we all need something that we can cling to as being very basic, and the very principles that the law and the promise provide to us is vital.
It's a code of honor, it's a code of ethics, it's a model to live by. I think almost every organization has some form of this. If we were doctors, it would be the Hippocratic Oath, but for us it is the Girl Scout Promise and Law, where you're trying to do your best, you're serving your community, respecting authority, helping other people.
The Promise and Law are not individual commitments. They are a commitment of a group. They bind us to an organization.
I'll speak very personally that at times where I have become disillusioned, whether it's something in my profession or something in my personal life, I find it restorative to work with the Girl Scouts and to be reminded of how powerful people can be who are united around a single message.
All of the programs that I do are based on the Promise and the Law, the program that we developed to offer the kids.
I'm drawing a dolphin jumping out of the water and cans and plastic bags and bottles and stuff in the ocean, which it looks like today.
And here we have what the world should look like. We got some snow on Kilimanjaro, and we got the sun rising and some flowers.
When I teach them to do the Promise and Law, I'm asking them to tell me what each sentence means to them.
To be cheerful so you can help people and be cheerful, be nice to one another.
It means that you should help people, you know, even if you don't know this person. Like if an elderly person is trying to get into the store and they're having trouble opening the door, you can just go and open it up for them.
It's important to help other people because if someone's in trouble, you can help them, and if you're in trouble, they can help you.
The Promise and Law remind us first that we are a values-driven organization. It binds adults and girls together, and it binds generations of Girl Scouts together.
I don't think there's a more important time in the history of our country or the world than there is today to have role models for our girls to look up to and respect. And the adult leaders in our organization today can provide that by themselves practicing the Girl Scout law.
There are a lot of influences out there in the world. Luckily, my mother was a good influence. She was a Girl Scout professional in the 1930s in Baltimore. So from her beginnings with me onto my own experience in Girl Scouting, and now as an adult being able to provide Girl Scouting to others, the Promise and the Law continue to offer meaning and focus and direction.
The Promise and the Law works when you make it work. You have to want to live by that law. You have to want to be the way the law wants you to be.
I think we work better together, and there's much more harmony knowing that everyone has the same type of code of ethic that we're all living by.
Girls can use these values, the law, in the Girl Scout community, in their troop, in national events, when they interact with other Girl Scouts and other Girl Scout councils. And then they can take those values and reach out to the community, doing service projects.
When we left the food here, I thought all about the hungry families. And I felt good that we'd done something to help. We all felt good.
It's a beautiful commitment when we make the Girl Scout Promise and Law, because what we're doing is saying that we are going to live lives that are of higher value, that are principled, and will give us strength and something to look to.
it makes you feel more alive that you're saying it, like you're doing something that makes you proud of yourself, rather than just like being proud of just something that you do maybe often, but it makes you proud that you're doing it every day.
I feel that the promise and the law serve a purpose of almost like a candle in the forest, the purpose of helping us remember why we're here.
As I think about it, I think that the promise and the law do affect my personal life. The promise to do the best you can do, and the law to be respectful of the people and the things in the rest of your life. Sure, I think that it's an ethical, it's a moral code, and it's a moral code that I believe in and that I live my life by, whether I'm in this uniform or whether I'm living my own personal life.
To me, it simply says that you do the best that you can at whatever it is that you do, however mundane, however grand.
I think the promise and law affects us in every day, in driving down the freeway. Am I going to be nice to this man that cut in front of me?
It makes you understand that you're supposed to be a sister of every other Girl Scout.
Make new friends, but keep the old. One is silver and the other's gold. A circle is round.
Our successes are related to our word of honor. I do business all the time with people. Sure, we use legal contracts and binding kinds of legal documents, but the handshake is just as important. And those are the kinds of values that come through Girl Scout training and commitment to each other.
If you're honest, then somebody can trust you, and they'll know that you're not lying.
If you're debating how to handle something in particular, and there's a corner you might want to cut, you're reminded that that wouldn't be honest or fair.
I've often said that people live up to your expectation level, and if you can provide them encouragement and they know that you're relying upon them, most people will certainly reach that level of honesty and commitment.
Having worked with the people in the organization, there is a camaraderie, there is a sense of purpose. And underlying all that, I think, is articulated in the promise and the law.
To me, the purpose of the promise and the law is to have a universal message, a base of core values, of spiritual values that is universal, without respect to cultural boundaries, ethnic boundaries, but a message that everyone can relate to.
It shows that people over in India, people over in Europe, people over in Asia, we're all one.
The promise means today exactly what it meant 61 years ago when I made my promise the first time. Exactly the same thing. It's a different world, and it probably is, undoubtedly is interpreted in different ways by today's children and today's young women. But it still means exactly what it meant then.
It's a commitment that comes from within. The one thing that binds all of us through our hearts and our souls is the Girl Scout promise and the law. On my honor,
I will try
to serve God and my country,
to help people at all times,
and to live by the Girl Scout law.
I would do my best to be honest,
to be fair,
to help where I am needed,
to be cheerful, to be friendly and considerate,
to be a sister to every Girl Scout,
to respect authority,
to use resources wisely,
to protect and improve the world around me,
to show respect for myself and others through my words and actions.